Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Elite Clockman here. Episode 34 of Skibidi Multiverse just dropped and we have a lot to talk about. First of all, let me tell you the giant PENCILMAN is not as nice as we thought. This episode is very special because for the first time we see actual humans in the show. And for the first time, and to my surprise, we see a war crime committed by the Alliance. We finally understood why the Skibidi squad hates the pencils so much. A new powerful character is introduced with the most overpowered ability yet. We also saw how PENCILMAN are created. But before we get to all that, make sure to like and subscribe if you think the giant PENCILMAN should pay for his war crime. Anyways, here we go. The episode starts unlike many. This time the second part is a flashback to episode 6, with the defeat of Titan Clockman. In the next frame, we see the POV cameraman getting smashed into pieces by the magnet toilet. Or so did we thought. Turns out he was teleported at the last minute into a new location. The pencil base by some kind of pencil that opens up portals by spinning. After that, we see our boy, the blue cameraman, helping the POV cameraman getting on his feet. After taking a quick look at the surroundings, you can clearly see the douchebag of the weak giant PENCILMAN, some of his brothers, and one covering his crayon that seems to be in deep thoughts. But why does he covers his most powerful weapon? Is it to hide something or just to limit his power? Anyways, blue cameraman asked us what happened back there. The POV cameraman then proceeded to give him a tablet in order to show him what happened back there, and to let them know that they lost Titan Clockman. The giant PENCILMAN said that he couldn't help them, telling these cameramen that they couldn't help because their numbers are still too small, and in order to win the bloody war they will need to wait and make more clones. But what happens next is absolutely astonishing, because for the first time we actually saw the birth of someone from the Alliance. The masked PENCILMAN headed to the other room. There we see a giant blank paper on the floor with 2 crayons floating in the air. The PENCILMAN did the unthinkable and used his powers to draw on the blank paper. Something begun to come out of the paper. We can see it starting to take shape and color as the PENCILMAN goes on and on. He drew a new muscular body, a familiar one if you ask me. Finally, the Great On drew the head as a pencil. Ladies and gentlemen, there before your eyes, we saw the birth of the hammer PENCILMAN. But something was clearly missing. The body was standing still, unable to move. It needed a soul. When the mysterious new PENCILMAN approached his drawing and used his green index to draw a straight line on his head. Until now, I didn't notice that the guy's finger were colored crayons. And just like that, our buffed bro came to life. We can see him getting awakened and confused, which is natural for a newborn. Finally, the 2 crayons drew his iconic hammer, and just like that, one of the pencil's top dogs came to life. Turns out the masked PENCILMAN is the Pencil Chief, founding father of all PENCILMAN, the strongest of his kind. No wonder that guy looks weird, he's just built different. The power to create an army just like that, and even giving them a will of their own. So many questions must be asked. How strong is he? Is he really the first one? Is he really the only original one? Is he on the level of the late Clock Chief? Can he create as much as he wants? Can he create just PENCILMAN, or others as well? So many questions to be asked, yet so little time to spare. But don't worry, my friends, only time will reveal. Only time will tell. In the next scene, we see a rather complex look on the giant PENCILMAN face. He then calls out his father and tells him that he found their shelter. He said that he doesn't know. How does he know? He just do. But that raises the question, who are they? After that, we see the giant robot opening up a portal using the pencil portal. The Pencil Chief looked at some of his children, and the blue cameraman telling them to go and take care of it. And with that, they all entered the portal. At that moment, I thought that they found some kind of secret Skibidi base, and that they were going to destroy it, or some heroic things. But what I saw after that left me speechless. In the next scene, we see a village in a distant, peaceful forest. Lights were coming out of the houses, so someone was here. After that, we see a TV on the screen. I naturally assumed that it was a TV man, but no, it wasn't. It was an old human male, with a few children playing outside. The village is filled with normal human life. Not like Alpha, but actual normal humans. We also see some toilet guards on the village entrance. They seemed harmless, and the villagers were not annoyed by them. It was like these toilets weren't some kind of monsters, they looked like normal guards. All seemed so controversial. For once, the skibidi toilets looked like normal. I was so confused. In the next scene, we see a cute little girl staring at a photo. It seems like she was with a man in this picture. From the looks of it, seems like she misses him. When a door opened behind her, the young woman that opened the door called her Bethany. So that's the kid's name, suits her if you ask me. Then the woman asked little Bethany what she was doing, to which the little one responded that she misses her dad. The man said that he will be back for her birthday. A sweet smile formed on the woman's face. She got closer to the child and tried to comfort her. She told her that today isn't her birthday, but tomorrow. She then took the picture from her small hands and told the birthday girl to go and play with the others. What a nice person. And with that, Bethany went to play with the others, saying that she can't wait to see her dad again. What a sweet little child. She reminds me of her. In the next scene, we shift to the toilet guards, and to our surprise, we can actually understand what they are saying. They were talking English, not the normal skibidi language. We then hear them say that they need more guard and that they're not enough. The other one replied by saying that they are the only ones that can speak for now, as the others are still unstable. And according to what I heard from these toilets, it seems that the humans have no idea about the ongoing war. And also that this village is the last shelter for human race. These villagers are the last of your kind. When suddenly the roles got completely reversed, the team sent by the pencil chief arrived at the scene. But something felt off. They didn't look heroic like always, and ominous music was in the background. For the first time, we looked like villains. As soon as they arrived, both sides opened fire. The toilets were massacred. They couldn't do any damage to the pencils as they heal by redrawing their wounds. Also, a new detail popped up. When a toilet dies, it starts to bleed. Were those the only toilets race that could bleed? Or did we never see them do because we always saw things from a cameraman's perspective? The toilets also said that no one could locate them unless someone from the inside betrayed them. So it wasn't an accident. This is all part of someone's plan, but who? And most importantly, why? Right after the toilets were down, we see the man that appeared first trying to shoot down the giant pencilman. Even if a bunch of armed guards couldn't defeat those monsters, he was the last line of defense of the village. But then the unthinkable happened. The giant pencilman shot the poor man in cold blood. He was now covered in red, dead on the ground. You can clearly see Blue Cameraman in shock from this horror. Funny thing is that this guy, though, that little homeboy, was some kind of self-destructing toilet. He then orders the other pencils to gather the rest of the villagers. It was like seeing my brother naked in the shower, a true horror movie. We saw the whole thing from the POV of the humans. The pencil men looked like some kind of monsters. We see the scene at first from the eyes of a man running for his life. It all looks like a nightmare. The man trips and falls. Then we see pencil men coming towards him. From the looks of it, looks like he was trying to turn his inside out, but in fact he was just trying to get him up. The men then proceeded to run a little more before getting caught. We then see the world from the POV of a little boy. It looked like the pencilman was assaulting the woman, but in fact, he was just trying to immobilize her in the most harmless way possible. Now we see a little girl holding a Reddy Bear in the middle of the road. Everyone was trying to run for his life, but it was no use. From the kid's eyes, the giant pencilman looked like the upgraded version of the Terminator. In the next scene, we see that the pencils were able to round the village people up. You can see the fear in everyone's eyes. Men, women, and even children. Some of them are even injured. They were terrified as they all kneel to the ground as a sign of cooperation with their invaders. Tension seemed high. Bethany's mom seems more worried than the rest. She then turns around searching for her little girl. We then see that the little Bethany managed to hide from the pencils. The little one tried to reach her mom, but the woman told her to stay hidden, as this might be the end for them. Things were starting to look more and more complicated. The blue cameraman explained that these were no toilet. They were just harmless humans. He also said that they should leave them alone. And then the unthinkable happened. Unlike what we expected, the tall giant robot disagreed. He said that it doesn't matter who they are, weak or strong, toilet or human, adult or even children, all possible threats should be eliminated. But here, listen to it yourself without any interruption. And with that said, That bastard pulled out his gun and massacred the whole village. It was horrifying, as blood covered a whole place in him. Being in the first seat to watch this atrocity, the blue cameraman was also covered in blood, which explains the bad dream he had back then. It was straight up PTSD. You can see a pencilman looking away while the other tries to comfort him. They thought that it was the right thing to do. On a related note, it was revealed that the members of the Alliance are all artificial intelligences. But this guy, the giant pencilman, has straight up no soul. The massacre was so intense that some blood even reached the picture of Bethany and her dad. And after a short transition, the frame of the picture was now a medallion in someone's hand. And I was in complete shock at what I've seen. It turns out that the father of the little Bethany was no other than the commander of the Skibidi squad. What a revelation. And that's the end of this episode. We had so much to talk about, but the most important part is the war crime. For the first time in my life, I, Elite Clockman, felt ashamed to support the Alliance, and even thought I am a forgiving man in nature. I really hope the commander gets his hands on the giant pencilman. Even if he was just doing his job, what he did is sincerely unforgivable. We have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you think Blue Cameraman is hiding little Bethany in his house. See you soon, my friends.